Well, the Yankees got off to a phenomenal start in 2024. They led the American League East for much of the first half. They had the best record in baseball for a long time, but they went into a bad slump in June that carried into July, and they have fallen out of first place. As the recently retired John Sterling always said, you can't predict baseball. But here are some things that I think could happen in the second half of the year. Number 5 is the most pressing issue right now, and that is the trade deadline. I believe the Yankees will add at least 4 players to the roster at the trade deadline, at least 2 relief pitchers and at least 2 position players. I also think they could subtract some players. I think you could see Gleyber Torres get moved at the trade deadline, among others. Possibly Caleb Ferguson could use a change of scenery. Somebody might be willing to deal for him. But I do think the Yankees are going to make some moves over the next couple of weeks. They're not going to sit out the trade deadline, so count on them to be very active in trying to overhaul this roster as they make a stretch run. Number 4, Luis Gil's increased usage with the slider and its increased effectiveness means that he's going to win the Rookie of the Year. He got off to an unbelievable start. He was 9-1 with a 2.03 ERA. He had a little bit of a period there where he was gassed, throwing more innings than he was accustomed to. His arm got a little tired, but recently he has changed up his pitch mix. He's throwing more breaking balls early in the count. He's also getting more strikeouts with the slider. The fastball is still really good. He's throwing 99, 100 miles an hour. He seems to be getting that life back on it again. It disappeared for a while, maybe a little bit of a dead arm phase. But if he's healthy going down the stretch, my goodness, he's got a chance to win another 7 or 8 games at least, and I look for him to be the Rookie of the Year.
The most famous baseball player of all time, Babe Ruth.
Number 3, Jason Dominguez is going to come up huge down the stretch. He was missing for most of the first half of the season as he recovered from Tommy John surgery, but man, did he make a splash last year. He's one of those quote-unquote slow heartbeat guys in which nothing seems to faze him. He always seems to be relaxed and having fun. To me, that means he could be clutch because I don't think the pressure is going to get to him in the playoffs. I could see him coming up down the stretch when he's healthy, filling in for either Verdugo or for Stanton or whoever needs it at that time. And then in the playoffs, you're going to play the best players. And he is a young switch hitter with power and contact ability who spits on close pitches. He's a good defender. And as we mentioned, slow heartbeat, which means, you guessed it, clutch in the playoffs. I think he's going to come up big, not only down the stretch, but in the postseason. Number 2, Aaron Judge is going to win his second MVP in the last 3 seasons. He hit 34 home runs and had 85 RBIs in the first half of the season. He had a 1.112 OPS, and he's had 2 really bad slumps. And you got to think, as the second half rolls around and arms start to get a little bit tired, there's going to be a few more hanging breaking balls and a few more balls flying into the seats for Aaron Judge. He has had big Septembers in the past, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he's got another shot at 60-plus home runs. He's on pace for about 57, 58 right now, but I think, like I said, as arms get tired, he's going to be hitting more balls out of the ballpark. He's also been playing a premium position in center field. I expect him to return to center field when Giancarlo Stanton comes back, and that means he's going to continue to rack up WAR. And his only competition, really, in my opinion, right now is Gunnar Henderson. The Orioles are very good. He's very young. He's also got a lot of power and a good hit tool. But Aaron Judge is just on another planet when it comes to stats.
If you don't like it, you're fired. You haven't hired me yet.
And number 1, and this might sting if you're a Gleyber Torres fan, Gleyber Torres is going to play his final game as a Yankee in 2024. It might happen at the trade deadline. I think there's a non-zero chance that the Yankees could move him at the deadline to maybe either clear a little bit of money or to get a prospect back. They're not going to get much for him because he's having a bad year, but maybe somebody's willing to put him at DH and take his mind off of the defense and hope he starts hitting again. That could happen. But either way, they're not going to re-sign him, and his final at-bat with the Yankees will either be at the end of this season if the Yankees don't make the playoffs, or at some point during the postseason World Series. But Gleyber Torres' Yankees run is about to end. If you're new here, go ahead and give us a subscribe and join the community. We would love to have you. We're live after pretty much every Yankees game for the last 5 years or so. We got the #1 post-game show on YouTube for Major League Baseball teams NYY Recaps. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like. It helps other fans find the video, find the channel, and helps us grow. Be a fan. Don't be a stranger. We'll see you next time.
Ball game over.